Mate, one change, Ken. It seemed pretty obvious because of Rioli's talent.
Yeah, no, he'd been pretty good for us, obviously, before he was crook for the last game. So, yeah, we'd like to think that once we get him back in the side, it helps us make us better.
So what happens to...
No, we've got a bit to shuffle through just at the moment. As much as we've had the bye, we've actually a couple of things going on. So we're most likely... Quinton will miss, and that's what will happen. But there's an opportunity in the sub and those sort of things that we'll do. But Sin obviously goes out, but we're just working through a couple other things. So right now, I'm not absolutely 100% certain on how we'll take the field. We'll take three. Yeah, we'll take three emergencies with us. So we'll take TJ, Dante, and Jace Burgoyne. So it'll give us good flexibility.
Should we ask if with the doubts?
No, you shouldn't ask.
Would you tell us?
No. No, look, we're pretty optimistic around everyone, if I'm being certain, but because we're coming off a bye and we've got the freedom of taking a pretty good squad and a pretty full squad with us, we're going to be really sure.
It's a bit harsh on Nigel. I guess we were pretty solid on this game.
Had a great game. Yeah, I mean, as much as it was harsh, it was also he got a good into the team really quickly from where he'd come from. But we think he's going to add lots to our footy club over the period of time. He's learning every day about how we like to play, and he'll certainly be a pretty important player, I think, for us for the back half of this year.
And TJ, I guess, in line for as a tactical sub, and what does he, if that's the case, what does he kind of bring you in that role?
Sorry, it's TJ?
TJ, yeah.
Yeah, no, we'll look at all options and who we've got available. It's probably not the first choice for us to be as sub, but I think the key thing in TJ is that we know he's in really good form in the sample. We know he's capable of coming in and playing a role immediately if we lost someone in our back 6 or 7 at the moment.
Do you need any reminder? No team.
No, I don't need a reminder. No.
What do we have to do?
I think the mature thing to do is just talk around and be honest enough to know that it's somewhat real. I mean, it's part of what's going on. But there's lots of reasons for different things. And I think most teams have started off pretty well that have come off the bye. They just haven't been able to play the full 4 quarters. But I think if you just purely looked at it, if we just sat back and looked at the results and said, did many of those results surprise us? I'm not sure there's a terrible amount of those results that went against what it should have been, probably on a predicting what the outcome of those games would be. There might have been 1 or 2, but most of them, I think, went, if you talk around who's favourite and who's not favourite, most of the favourites got up.
The chance to play at the MCG, Ken, I think obviously you're planning on hopefully going deep, but yeah, good time with it last time against Richmond. Another good opportunity for the younger players to get back in there.
It's fascinating because we always have that question for the interstate sides when you get a chance to go and play at the MCG. I think clearly we have that fascination because most of the years the AFL Grand Finals played there, so you think you've got to be able to play well there. I think it's not that dissimilar for interstate sides. We get to play on all the different grounds. We know we don't get to play there more than once or twice a year, but that's like most grounds that we're involved in other than our own home ground. So yeah, it's a great opportunity. We love going there. We love being a part of the opportunity to play at the G, but we don't find it any more special or any more important than any other game that we play this year.
Orazio, a bit of a setback with the hamstring. I mean, it's so frustrating. He's such a good guy and who knows that.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll only be a week.
Yeah, look, it's very minor. Very, very minor. So it's it's just one of those things that in someone who's regaining full fitness, that it's not unusual to have this little setback now. We're hopeful, but as you said, we don't know totally, but hopeful that it's only a 1 week thing.
It was very short. What's the next step for the side? If you hit a bit season, what's the next step for the side that's in the first half is almost false? What's some improvements can you make?
Yeah, well, it's just continuous improvement. I think no one would sit there at the end of round 15 and think that you've actually got everything nailed. So for us, and we've done that over the bye period, we've looked at all 3 phases of the game. We've looked for the opportunities. We've acknowledged the strengths, and we've certainly looked at the opportunities that still present themselves to us to improve as a club. And we know that there is still plenty of opportunities for us to improve.
You must have been very happy that Miles Bergman recommitted to the club this week.
It's just an outstanding result for our football club when you consistently see young people from interstate want to stay at our football club. It says a lot around what Port Adelaide stand for, and I think culturally and the values of our football club stand up pretty strongly most of the time, and that's another example of it, I think.
Did you have any doubts? No,
not really. I mean, other than clearly because, and I'm always honest enough to say that with any of the young Victorians and interstate players, the pull of family is real. We got Jason back, so that's something that you have to actually understand, and we're never going to be totally immune from that. We're going to, at some stage, face that challenge ourselves. But we lost Carl last year for wanting to return home. So most of the time, all that stuff, if you give them an environment that they'll thrive in and play good football in, they usually find a way to stay.
I guess the attention now turns to Mitch Georgiades as the other young player out of contract. Are you confident that he'll, recommit?
Yeah, well, as I just said, we've seen examples of our players wanting to stay, and Mitch is slightly different based on the fact he's now got a serious knee injuries that he's dealing with, and we need to give him the fullness of time to make sure he's got all the information he needs. Let's let him recover from his knee. It's it's not a rush for Mitch, I don't think, and it's certainly not a rush from us as a club. But we're extremely confident that Mitch loves being at our footy club.
Ken, it's a short turnaround from the last time you played Essendon, but are they a very different side from 6-7 weeks ago?
No, they're pretty similar in the way they like to play. They're certainly playing at a really high level, which, and we know that, and we know what they're really capable of. But again, you know what you need to do. It's being able to execute what you need to do. And Essendon will acknowledge that we're playing differently, slightly differently. We're playing pretty consistently, and I think we both go to the MCG tomorrow night knowing we're going to need our best.
What about Charlie's contract? Is that just a matter of time? Or?
That's an interesting one. Yeah, I would have thought that Charlie at a stage of his career, once he works through the rest of the year, and those more senior players, they clearly get done probably later in the year, but I'd be staggered if Charlie Dixon wasn't playing next year.
Good.
Thank you.